Okay, so today what we're going to do is install the Dashfreaks Shift Light that goes behind the cluster of the Evos. And here's a look at the site. So they make this for other models as well, but this one is focused on the CP9A Evo. But pretty cool. This control box has a app that you can log into as well to control when it comes on in terms of that, RPM limits, gauge sweep, the lighting sequence, how the sequence lights up, the colors that come on. So lots of features. So let's get into the parts you get with the kit. I want to show you this is the old one here. This is the previous model that they had that kind of went in place. It's pretty cool. Same LEDs that are in the new one. I guess this one's a bit more like kind of as it was out the box, but yeah, same LEDs. Here's the new kit, and there's that LED module. But what's really interesting about this one now is this control box. That allows us to have the app and all those customized features. And honestly, I think the install is a little bit easier as well. And comes with a good manual to walk through that installs. I'll walk you through it today, but yeah, nice that everything here is well outlined, especially for the CP9A Evos. So here is the back of the gauge cluster, and this is actually a printed circuit board. It's a flexible PCB, and those are all the different trace lines. So what it does is it allows us to take these three screws and intercept them, and that means that we can control the tachometer signal from that black box. So we can intercept that, change what the ECU is saying, and give us these features. Okay. Well, with that, let's dig into the wiring a bit more. And what you want to focus on is really kind of up here in the top right corner. For the Evos, thankfully, they are pre-terminated in the right setup for those cars. And this is the outline that we're focusing on. These three screws will intercept and give us the controls. Without further ado, let's get started. First things first, taking off the trim and the plastic covers. Be really slow with this. These are old brittle plastic. They will break. Just walk your way around nice and easy. Your trim removal tool here is what I like to use. Slowly taking it off and working it away. And when you get the clear moved, set it to the side. Then work on the black bezel. This one is secured in the back with screws. There's 3 screws. Keep that in mind. I like to kind of get these clips out. That way the screws kind of just pop out the back with a little bit of tension there. Okay, here's the first one. And when you take them out, you gotta give them a little shake and try to get them to pop out. It'll take some shaking sometimes, and when you think they're released, they're not always released. So that's why I want to make sure they don't go flying and you lose them. There's one. Here's the other one. Shake that out. Okay. And then we got one more right there. Pop that out. And once you have all 3, this bezel should just peel away. Now the tachometer is free to access, and I'm going to remove, you can see that that's the old design shift light I have on there currently. These 3 screws, when you take them off, the tachometer will be completely loose. It will fall. So be careful. I'm actually bracing it on the other side of one of my fingers just to make sure it doesn't pop away. But yep, once you have it off, now I have to do an extra step here and take off the old shift light mechanism. It's double-sided clear tape. You can see how it actually is installed. So that's exactly how we're going to do it. Just peel it away nice and slowly here. All right. And then the next thing you'll see is I have it sliding through that flexible PCB. I just made a little slit. You'll want to cut between the trace lines. Do not cut where you see a little line going across. There's a gap there where you can make a little cut and slide this through right there. So that's where I made my cut, not to interfere with the gauge. Another thing you can do here is when you're installing it, take a light, shine it to the back, and you shine it to the front, and that's where you want to install it, right there in that 7,000 to 9,000 spots. Take your double-sided tape, apply it to the LED surface, the outer portion there. So you're actually going to cover up those LEDs with that double-sided tape. It's clear, it's fine. And if your scissors are garbage like mine, you'll need a straight edge. It doesn't have to be a perfect cut. It just has to sort of trim away the excess. All right. And then when you go to install this, you can use a light or just line it up. Again, you're going 7,000 to 9,000 on the Evos. Give it a good press. Make sure it's got a good fit. Okay. Yep. And now we're going to put it back in. Be careful about scratching that gauge face or leaving oil marks on it. It can become easily damaged. Now you're going to want to line up on the pegs in the back of the housing so it sits in there nicely. And then what we'll do is we'll take the bezel, put it back in place and clip it in place. This will hold the tachometer in its right spot, so that way when you flip it over, it doesn't just fall out on you again. Get that in place. And I'm going to put the clear bezel on as well, just to have everything nice and protected. No reason not to. Okay, now we're on the back side. Let's take a look at these wires. So first, we'll start with the easy one. Let's go for the ground. That's the black wire. And oh, yeah, I want to run the washer underneath. So kind of sandwich between the washer and the bolt. That goes in that one. And when you're tightening these, keep in mind it's plastic. It doesn't have to be super tight. All right, red wire, this is your power. Same thing. And then just snug it up. Don't crank it down. You don't want to strip these out. And the third one, this is where it gets slightly tricky, is you can see the white wire has a little piece of black plastic there. That's an isolator. And then that creates a sandwich between the white and the green wire. This allows the signal to be intercepted by the control box before it's passed the gauge, because obviously the control box needs to see what the ECU is telling it. All right, then we just tighten that in place. Nice, easy. See, there it goes. That's pretty much all it takes. Make sure everything's nice and tight. All the clips in place. Let's take a look at that here, the final. That's what it should look like. And then when you go to install, you can just tape these wires in the back. That's what I did. And then there's a spot right behind the tachometer when you're installing this in place that the box can slip into. But there it is. Look at that. Start it up, sweeped, lights are on. And then we're going to do another test here. It's always good to check with the engine on as well, because we want to make sure the RPM signal is coming through. There it is. Perfect. All right, let's finish installing. Now, when you install these in place, I also like to work my way around slowly. These old clusters actually, when they're installed, they clip into electrical connections. So if you install one side first, you might have those electrical connections a little bit cockeyed. And yeah, I'd recommend slowly working it in here. And let's get the trim in. All right, now it's time for some beauty shots. Sweet. Look at that. Perfect. And here's what it sounds like on a dyno. I guess it looks like. And I have noticed driving it, it definitely helps, especially in the daytime. These clusters weren't super great in the day, so this helps. Good visual cue. So hopefully you guys liked the video, and if you're interested, check out Dashfreaks. Again, really cool products. The guy stands by his work. He does an awesome job. So yeah.